to the channel. So today we are going to discuss the complete interview process and the recently asked questions for Capgemini India. And through this video, you will get to know a lot of information around the interviews conducted at Capgemini. Currently, they are hiring in bulk. If you visit their LinkedIn page, you will see a lot of vacancies in Pune, Gurugram, and the Bangalore location. So my suggestion would be go ahead, prepare your a good resume and apply for these jobs. And then for preparation, you can watch this video. You will get some of the questions and techniques, what kind of scenario based questions they are asking, or the technical skills that they are checking, right? So without any delay, I'll just show you this document that I've prepared for the Capgemini India. So the questions basically I've divided into the three major parts: experienced developer, which is a mid-level one, then junior developer for fresher kind of, then must-know question for Capgemini, right? My suggestion would be, irrespective of whether you fall in which category, go through all the questions. You never know. Sometimes, being a mid-level developer, you get questions which is very basic and you miss the opportunity. Sim condition with the junior developer. Sometimes they get some question which is beyond their range, right? Which is supposed to be a difficult or advanced level, and you miss your job opportunity. So carefully go through the document, each and every question in this I'll discuss in this video also. And also for your if you have interviews in next month, next week, right? My suggestion would be to analyze the core topics that I'm going to discuss in this video, right? Prepare questions around it, not just the question that I'm just discussing, but what are some other questions that may come from that question, right? So you have to prepare in that level. Now let me show you from, I'll start from this junior level developer, right? So I'll just give you some glimpses like how we are going to prepare for it. Let's suppose the question is, what is difference between double equal to and equals method in Java, right? You might know this obviously. So double equal to compares the references, it says, right? Basically a memory location hash codes, right? But the equals method compares the actual value of the string. So whether you are creating a string using the just string is equal to double quotes, or string is equal to new string. So one scenario checks via a string pool, and second one is directly goes and create a string in the heap memory, right? So you must know what is string pool and what is the concept behind it, how these methods actually work. Go ahead, search. You can use ChatGPT or any other AI tool, or even you can normally Google it, right? And understand these concepts. So that's really important. You should cover the questions that is around these questions. Let's suppose, what is constructor? How it is different from method, right? Do constructors can have a wide return type? What is parameterized constructor, right? Prepare these questions. Then obviously you have to cover most of the data structures, not this array list or the linked list, but these are the questions that were asked in recent. So you must focus on the collection also, right? Then some of the final around the final keyword access modifiers in Java comes a JVM. So when there is JVM, which basically converts bytecode into machine specific instructions, right? Then comes JRE Make sure you understand JRE how the flow of the Java code starts, right? What are the segments of memory where the codes gets allocated during the execution, right? Go ahead, search around these three topics: JVM, JRE, and JDK. So you will get to know a lot of information around it. What is purpose of static keyword? These are the basic questions you must know, right? I've covered a lot of here. I'm not going to discuss, but yes, you can get the document. I'll tell you how to get the document and you can prepare for it. So these kind of questions are being asked. These are very basic, but do not miss the basic questions, right? Now this was about the junior developer. If I show you the experience or the mid-level developer, right? So this comes like explain the differences between the component, repository, and service in Spring. You must know, right? What is the purpose of these annotations? In what context we use it? What is the role of transactional in Spring? Very important question, right? So they try to check your database depth knowledge, and this is not, obviously you are going for mid level. So the questions level will be scenario based. So if I give you scenario on this, let's see, uh, let's suppose there is any transaction that is going on, right? Some of the operations you are doing, and basically it throws some exception, right? And your transaction gets rolled back. But your case is, you have to log something in the error table in the database before rolling back this transaction, right? How will you achieve this? So I'll tell you. See, when you use a single transaction context, right? So while if it throws exceptional error, so along with the other commits that you did database gets rolled back. So if you want to specific log into the error table, then you have to prepare separate transactional context for that uh, error logging thing, right? You can analyze this problem. These kind of scenario based will be there. So the context that you will separately prepare for your loggings, that will be get committed before the exception gets thrown in this condition, right? So this is how the questions are being asked. Because of the chat gpt and ai, for sure even interviewer is using it, right? So the level of question is somewhat different. There might be a cross questioning from the simple questions as well, right? How does dependency injection work in spring? Okay, what is the use of spring data jpa? What is the repository name that we use? What are some of the common methods that jpa has, right? How you establish one-to-one or one-to-many connection in jpa? So these questions you must understand. uh, how to handle the exception handling in Java in Spring Boot applications actually. So enterprise is very much focused on loggings and the exception handling. This is really important use cases for any your of interviews of enterprise level application, right? So you must understand how do you achieve a logging or the exception handling in the Spring Boot. Then comes how you define your custom properties, how you can access the values from the application properties. Then comes your this value annotation or the configuration properties annotation, right? So you understand these REST APIs, understand its flow or what are different method that we are using, right? How you validate it, how you secure the API endpoint. These are some of the questions that you must drill down. And these questions you can get from my master sheet also. If you open the link I've given in the description, so you will get the link to the master sheet also that covers all this discussion that I'm not doing here. I'm just focusing that you must understand these, right? So you can see these kind of questions we have here, right? Good number of questions that helps you for sure in your interviews, right? Now, must known question for Java. I mean, these are just a mix of the complex and the easy level problems, right? And some of the terms or scenarios that you must understand, whether you don't know fully, but yeah, you must understand, right? Auto configuration mechanism works, right? How it works, so you understand it. What is a Spring Cloud microservices? How to secure REST API using JWT in Spring Boot? Circuit breaker pattern, how to implement it, right? So these are the things. Apart from these questions, you will see what are the principles of microservice architecture. So these are the questions I've listed. You can go through the document. A difference between monolithic versus microservices becomes important. Load balancing kind of stuff, right? How async work in Spring. So these are some of the really important and the buzzing topics in these interviews, and these are asked in the Capgemini recently. The questions has been taken from the students who was part of the drive recently, or the questions that they have shared, right? So you must cover all of this. Apart from this, for Capgemini India, my suggestion would be focus on the core concepts that includes the, especially in the core Java, you make sure you understand object oriented programming and related questions, some scenario based question in that, right? Understand the abstract classes or the interfaces, what are the purpose of their use cases, right? What is the collection frameworks, different interfaces classes that we have, their complexity, right? And when to use it. What is the total scenario of exception handling in Java? How you handle the loggings or big transaction databases kind of stuff, how you optimize it. So those questions, be prepared for it. Prepare for the SQL questions as well that have some scenario based, right? Like nth highest salary, or the some table joining small queries, right? So you must prepare these specifically, go through some SQL questions, right? That is scenario based. So if you have any document or any resource that you can visit, well and good. If you don't, you can get my master sheet along with this sheet. So master sheet has a lot of questions on the scenario based in the SQL also, right? And for sure, I'm pretty sure that it will help you to achieve and crack your Capgemini interview, right? So get this document. The link is given in the description. And also, I would say, if you feel like not very confident, go ahead by and get fill the sheet, and you will get the master documentation sheet that covers a lot questions, and it also covers the more than 20 plus companies interview questions. So that would be really helpful for you. So all the very best for your interviews.